So, all right. So we had discussed in the previous two sessions, we discussed about the organizational structure, overall the definition of the organizational structure. Here we have discussed about the factors. Then we discussed about the functional structure. What was the functional organization structure? जहाँ पर focus is on the functions, that is the nature of the job. For example, all of the developers will make up a team. All of the marketers are going to make up a team. That was called as the functional organization structure. फंक्शनल के बाद वी हैव डिस्कस्ड अबाउट अ हायरार्किकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर, एक ओल्ड स्कूल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर, या आप कह सकते हैं कि इट्स मोर प्रोमिनेंट और मोर पॉपुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर स्पेशली इन द डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज. देन हमने हायरार्किकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर को डिवाइड किया था इन टू कैटेगरीज, दैट इज द फ्लैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, जिसको वाइड ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस भी कहेंगे. देन वी डिस्कस्ड अबाउट टॉल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, जिसको नैरो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर भी कहा जा सकता है. सो we discussed about both of these elements: span of control, delegation, the level of politics in a company. All of these things were discussed. Then we discussed about the divisional organization structure in the last session, that when we are dividing the structure on the basis of divisions, not on the functions. Every division would have their own function inside them. That division A will have their own marketing, sales, services departments. Division B will have their own marketing, sales and services department. And then we see that these divisions can be divided on the basis of the products, on the basis of market, and then geographical division structure. So divisions can be based on products. For example, we have got Nestle. So Nestle can have their divisions of Nestle milk pack, then a division of dry milk, then the division of water. That can be divided in three different divisions. It can be in the same region, but three different divisions are going to manage themselves. And all of the division will have their own marketing staff, own finance staff. All of the people are going to be specialized in their own functions or the divisions. Then market based and geographical division structure के अंदर क्या हो रहा है कि we are dividing on the basis of geography. That's what we have discussed yesterday. Okay, for example, if Nestle is working in Pakistan, they would have their own divisional head in Pakistan, and then all of the people or all of the employees working in Pakistan would be working under one division, and they would have their own marketing department, sales department, services department. Similarly, people who are working in India, they will have their own marketing, sales and services department, and the link between Pakistan and India will not be there in terms of the functions. So in a functional structure, there is normally a linkage between all of the countries, but when it comes to the divisional structure, there is not a linkage between their functions. That is the main difference between these two. So today we were supposed to discuss the advantages and disadvantages first, and then moving ahead with the next structure, the matrix structure. So quickly a recap on the divisional organization structures advantages. The first advantage is that the better synergy between the departments. So within the departments, because for example, people who are working in Pakistan are having their own departments within Pakistan. That means all of them will have a better synergy as compared to if we have one department across different regions. For example, if one marketing department is working and all of the regions are combined, obviously there will be greater chances of conflicts due to the cultural conflicts. But since you are working in one division now, every function is working under one division now, so there would be better communication, better coordination, better synergy between the departments. Second, enables each division to create its own culture. So every division, since they are divided on the base of regions, on the base of their products, so they normally develop their own cultures according to the product, according to the region, and that creates obviously lesser chances of cultural conflicts would be seen. So how you're going to use this knowledge in your case study, that is the question. If in the case study you feel like there is a cultural clash, the organization is expanding beyond the borders, in that particular scenario, there is a good way to go for a divisional structure, that we divide the regions on the basis of the divisions, and then all divisions should have their own department so that such cultural conflicts or lack of synergy can be avoided. So this can be used as a solution to the problem. So if in your case study you feel like the cross culture companies are working, and then there are such type of synergical gaps between the people, they are getting demotivated. So divisional organization structure can help you out in bridging that gap, uh, in terms of you can say synergy, and in terms of the cultural clashes. Third, secured budgetary resources. That we know that people in Pakistan, those who are working in Pakistan, know that how much budget should be allocated to them. For example, if you are following a functional organizational structure, so all of the marketing departments, like all of the people in marketing department would be working under in multiple countries, suppose. So if that is the case, so overall marketing head will not know that how much budget is supposed to be allocated to which country, because they don't know the dynamics of that country in detail. But once we're dividing it in the divisions, that for example, people like the marketing department in Pakistan, marketing department in India, marketing department in Bangladesh, they know that how much resources are required for their own budgets. So a better allocation of the budgetary resources can be seen in the divisional organization structures. A disadvantage: unnecessary competition within the organization. But that's the problem. So a marketing department of Pakistan versus the marketing department of India versus the marketing department of Bangladesh, there might be a positive competition, there might be an unnecessary competition, because they might be duplicating the work sometimes. For example, if the work of the marketing department was centralized, they might be making one advertisement and using the same advertisement across the channels. For example, if they have got the videography, and then they have used some certain characters in it, and they could have used those celebrities or the characters across the globe in all of the countries, since they are known. But if we are going for a divisional structure, we may have to advertise locally, because all of the marketing departments are now individually tackling with their own countries. So every country may be going for their own advertisements, own celebrities. In one side, it's a good thing that you are localizing the ads of that particular company, but on other side, obviously the cost is going to be very high, because initially that there was just only one advertisement that was working out. But right now we have got, if we are working in 10 countries, that means we are making 10 different advertisements this time. So the 10 times the cost is going to be higher in this case, and this is kind of a duplication of work as well for the company. So in that scenario, we say that there is an unnecessary competition seen in the business. Second element, the funding and sharing of the resources is a common issue. How? That obviously the people working in Pakistan, marketing department in Pakistan, will not be ready to share the resources with the people working in India. They may be not sharing the data with them. They may not like to share the market secrets with them if they have identified and innovated one good thing, since there is a high competition already between them. Rather than sharing the information with others, they may hide that information. They may not plug that information into the customer relationship management softwares. So they may not be doing it. So since due to the unnecessary competition, plus funding it separately to 10 different countries is going to be a question mark as well. Obviously, since the expenses are going up, so in terms of funding, you will have to justify every time that why do you need these funds in a country, in a specific department in a country. Each division will have their own funding, that's the question. So yes, they are going to have their own fundings, but since this funding is going to be demanded from the center at the end of the day, so what happens is, if you are working in a division, that never means that you are going to be autonomous body. At the end of the day, all of the funds are going to be accumulated to the central executives, or to the central, you can say the banks or the channels. You have got a certain privilege that, for example, let me give you an example. For example, if a marketing head in Pakistan, and then there is a marketing head in India and Bangladesh, if you need a fund, there would be a certain financial limit for you. For example, the person can withdraw approximately 1 million from the account in terms of advertisement within 1 month, not more than that. That is the financial limit, let's say, for a marketing head in Pakistan. So if they are looking for an advertisement or large scale advertisements, so obviously they will seek the approval from the higher tier body at the center, which can be called as a head office. and that head office is going to obviously ask them the questions or justify that why do you need these funds. So if they say that there is going to be a duplication, they may not approve it anymore. Just like I gave you an example of the videography. So if a videography is done in India, they may say use the same videography, so say use the same video in order to advise yourself in Pakistan. They may say that. If somebody has done the videography in UK using an international level celebrity, or a celebrity which is working in Hollywood, such kind of, so that is the case, they may not be approving this local budgets or local requirements of the videography for that Pakistani marketing head. So that is why we say that there might be a challenge in terms of funding, or getting the fundings from the center, from the head office in that terms, right? So next is, if divisions become too separate and specialized, that leads towards a risk of internal incompatibilities. So if there is a division is quite higher, for example, we know that people working in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh share a common culture. So the style of working is quite same. There may not be that much differences in these divisions. But once you compare these divisions with the people working in UK, with the people working in US, with the people working in Malaysia and Indonesia, obviously, and plus people working in China and Russia, so there's going to be a huge cultural barriers, huge differences, huge communication gaps. So if such divisions are becoming too separate and too specialized in their own areas, that may lead towards internal incompatibilities. So rather than learning from the cross cultures, what we are doing is we are creating a hurdle. So we have gone through the concept of equality and diversity already. So in equality, we say that everyone has to be treated equal. Okay, that's a good thing. But second thing is the diversity. And we always say the one of the biggest reasons of the success factor of USA was its diversity in its corporate cultures. So all of the businesses today who are successful in US, one of the biggest reason is they are hiring the people from diverse cultures according to their own specialties. For example, if they need a person with a strong physical attribute, they might be hiring a person from African regions. If they need a person who is good at mathematics or accountancy, they might hire a person from Asian countries like India and Pakistan. If they want to hire a person who is creative in terms of drama, arts, culture, such kind of things, so they might be hiring a person from UK or European Unions. So due to such diversity, they are learning from each other and they are trying to make their organization more efficient, since there are some built-in traits available in some humans, and they are utilizing those built-in traits. So if divisions are using the cross-cultural diversity, it is going to be a very good thing. But since sometimes the competition comes in, the people working in India and Pakistan might try to compete themselves with the people living in UK, so they are not going to share their information, or they are not going to hire the people from cross cultures. So if that is the case, in that scenario we say that if divisions become too separate and specialized, that leads towards a risk of internal incompatibility. They will become incompatible. They are not going to be compatible with other cultures. Their marketing style would be entirely different in Pakistan versus the marketing style of Nestle in UK. How McDonald's advertise themselves in Asian countries must be synchronized with the way they are advertising in UK and Arabian countries. They can just change the cultures, they can just change the celebrities, the faces, but at the end of the day, the message should be same, because that leads towards a centralization or a international brand image. But if divisions are getting too separate from each other, that would lead towards this problem, that everyone will try to be different than others, and in terms of when they try to be different, the overall brand image of the company may get hampered in that case, because there would be less synchronization seen in their advertisements and in their products. So we cannot vary it. For instance, let's talk about any fast food sector like McDonald's. We have got KFC, Hardee's, and all of these international, Burger King. So all of these international brands come up with some products which are same across the countries, and then there are some of the products which are different across the countries. Suppose if they remove the products which are same across the countries, what would happen? their centralized brand image would be hampered, and that is the reason they offer a specific kind of burgers around the countries. For example, talk about Big Mac. So it is going to be available in most of the countries, and it is going to be exactly the same the way it has been served in America, the way it is served in Russia, the way it is served in India. So they are not going to differentiate that much. Then there would be some products according to the local markets, like Maharaja burger in India. We've got another patty burger in Pakistan. So they may like differentiate their product to some extent, but all of the products not going to be differentiated, because this is going to lead towards a message that the McDonald's working in Pakistan is different than McDonald's are working in India and other regions. So they want to give a centralized message to the people. So if in the case study you see such type of issues, a division is more, the separation is more, then the cultural clashes are more, so the divisional organization structure may work out. But if the competition is getting even higher between the parties, then division structure will not work out. Why? Because higher competition means that there is going to be more separation between the divisions, and due to this negative competition, the divisional structure may not work efficiently. So there must be some kind of centralization in some aspects, and then in some aspects you can like differentiate the product according to the markets. So any questions so far from these points? All right, so let's move ahead with the next element, that is the matrix structure, the focus of the day. So what is a matrix structure? So have a look at the picture given on the right hand side. First let's see what's happening over there, and then we'll try to understand what is matrix structure. So over here you can see the job function like the developers, marketers, and sales representative. So this is exactly the area which is basically telling us about the functional organization structure. So this area is we can call it as a functional area. Then on the vertical side we have got the division as well. So we can say that a matrix organization structure is a mixture of functional plus divisional. So what we try to do is, in matrix structure, we actually try to solve all of the issues of the functional structure, then all of the issue of the divisions, and we try to integrate the people with each other. So what's happening over there is, let's suppose there is a person who is over here. So have a look at this person. What's happening with this person? So this is the person. This person is going to be linked with everyone. So this person is going to be linked with the function A. This person is going to be linked with the division A. This person is going to be linked with this person. This person is going to be linked with this person as well. And vertically, this person is linked with the people or the developers working in product B and division B and C. So we can see that one person is linked horizontally with everyone, vertically with everyone. So all of the communication gaps are avoided, all of the unnecessary competition is avoided. Now the focus is on the team working. Now the focus is that how much every single person is contributing to the project. Normally the matrix organization structure is used in the project oriented environments, not in the normal organizations. It is used in an organization which is going for a joint ventures or the projects. They are working on a projects of 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, let's say. So the project oriented organizations normally go for the matrix structure, since we can understand this element that working within this region is really difficult. For example, if a person is working in this particular area, so the person has to be communicated with all of the marketers, sales representatives at the same time, and then this person must be communicating with the developers of the product division B and division C. So doing the communication horizontally, doing the communications vertically is the job of this person. So what happens is that the center, the person, the leadership actually allocate the tasks to one person, and the one person has to execute that task by communicating with all of the people horizontally and vertically. And this leadership can give the task to this person directly. The manager of this function A can give the task to this person as well. The manager of division A can give the task to this person as well. So we can get the orders from multiple bosses at the same point. So apparently seeing that it seems a very complex structure. It seems like we cannot work in such structures when there are 3 bosses. So for example, if we talk about bosses, so this leadership can give the instructions to this person. Function A can give the instruction to this person. Division A can give the instruction to this person. So if we are getting the instruction from 3 different areas, which one you are going to execute? That is the question mark. So this is where the software like the ERP comes in, entrepreneur resource planning software. So when the leadership is giving the orders, functions are giving the orders, divisions are giving the orders to execute one stuff. So in the ERP systems, entrepreneur resource planning software systems, the leadership would decide at the end which task is the higher priority task, which task needs to be done first, which task to be needed to be done second, and which task needed to be done third. So we can see one element that in this matrix structure there is one prerequisite. In fact, there are two prerequisites. One, the person must be very much active, so that the person must be ready to get the orders from multiple areas. Along with that, the person must be collaborative, that he or she must be able to communicate with the people in other departments as well as in other divisions. And the third thing, the person is required to be creative, because the task is going to be given to that person. How it is to be executed is up to that person. So in the leadership styles, in AS levels, we have gone through the concept of laissez-faire style of leadership. What is the laissez-faire style of leadership? That what needs to be done is told to you. How it is to be done, it is up to you. So in this structure, what happens is that what needs to be done is told to this person by the leadership, by the function, by the divisions. But how it is to be done, it is his or her authority to do it. At the end of the day, we need the result. So in the projects, let me give you an example. For example, we have got a multinational company working on a different construction projects. Let's take an example of NLC in Pakistan, National Logistics Cell. So NLC, other than their transportation services, have got a task of doing construction related projects in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in UAE, and in other regions of the world. So at the same point, they are having multiple divisions since they are working in multiple countries. And at the same time, they have got their different functions. They have got their finance departments, marketing departments, everywhere in different countries. And even in Pakistan, they have got more than 100 projects going on each time. So all of the finance departments of each function, of finance department of each project, communicate with each other, right? So understand the scenario. We have got 100 projects going on in Pakistan. All of the finance departments, marketing people, executors are communicating with each other. Then these people are also communicating with the division of other countries as well. So that is now the requirement is, and anyone can come in and give you the order. Anyone can come in and say that you are the one who is going to, you are supposed to do this task. So in such scenarios, you need to be very active, vigilant, creative, understand the priorities of the task, and then executor, rather than just pointing out fingers at others. So everyone is a team worker. If any single person is not going to do the task, it is going to hamper all of the functions plus all of the divisions. So that is why we call it as a matrix structure, that everyone is connected with each other just like a web. If one chunk of the web is broken, it is going to overall hamper the brand image of the overall company. So over here in matrix structure, we need the creative people, active people, sharp people, those who understand the task better. Inefficient people don't have a space in matrix structure. So let's give a quick review on it. So organizational structure that creates project teams which cut across traditional functional departments. So it is not a traditional, no one is boss over there. No one is subordinate. Everyone is boss, everyone is subordinate. At the end of the day, everyone is required to do their tasks. Instead of highlighting the role of status of individual, it gathers the team of specialists with the objective of completing a task or a project successfully. So focus is on completion of the project. And then the emphasis is placed on the individual's ability to contribute to the team rather than their position in the hierarchy. I am the finance manager. I am the finance director. Doesn't matter. What matters at the end of the day is how much you are contributing towards the project. So this is the matrix structure which we have gone through. So what you guys need to do is go through the advantages and disadvantages. Let us just wrap it up within 1 minute. So number one, it's a heaven for the creative employees. That's what we have already discussed. So the people who like to work in informal environments, they actually go for it. And in the Maslow's hierarchy, you have gone through the concept of self-actualization. Creative people work in matrix structures. Highly compatible with the dynamic market businesses. So since dynamic business, so all of the previous structures we see that they were having this problem, they weren't able to work in dynamic structures. So this one, matrix structure, is working in the dynamic environments as well. What is good for the department is replaced with what is good for the project and the business as a whole. So we're not thinking about ourselves, we're not thinking about departments, we're thinking about the whole business. Now the scenario is different. Now we are thinking broadly, not individually. Then crossover of multi-skilled ideas leads to creative, successful solutions. So everyone is collaborating with each other, everyone is learning from each other. Diversification is max in the HR, so we are learning from one another, and at the end of the day it is creating creativity. Less file movement, there is no bureaucratic culture. At the end of the day, execution of the task, as I have told you that there is no file movements, it is an ERP software which actually helps us out in collaborating with each other. Passing down of an authority comes with a risk, but obviously we are relying on the subordinates most of the times. We're just telling them what to do, how to do, it's up to them. If they are inefficient, this is going to create a chaos in an organization. And what is the solution to this problem? Hire a person who is skillful, or if a person is not skillful, first give them an induction training, on the job training, off the job training, whatever you say, but at the end of the day the person must be trained enough before entering an organization. Because if that person is not efficient enough, it is going to hamper the whole organization's HR. Then team members may have two leaders. This will lead towards conflict of interest. That's what I've told you. Orders might be coming in from 3-4 sides. You must be vigilant enough to understand which is more important, which is not. Several layers of approvals, increased competitions. So everyone is giving you a task, and then everyone is like finalizing the task. Then accountability is high, everyone is cross-checking the task of others. So it may sometimes create a confusion that who is responsible for this task at the end of the day. So normally we say in the business that when everyone is responsible, that means no one is responsible. And then last thing, if something goes wrong, finger pointing can still take place. We're talking about the creative people, but at the end of the day, when there is a big disaster, there might be a chance of finger pointing still. So this is the matrix structure which we have gone through. The next element is the delegation. Delegation is what we have already discussed. You will go through the advantages and disadvantages by yourself. Delegation means passing down of the authority along with the accountability of that. Centralization, decentralization, we have already discussed about this thing. When the orders are been given from the center, the head office, this is called as centralization. And when the orders are not given from the center, but most of the orders are autonomously done by their own divisions, so this is called as decentralization. And then you can see the assignment which is in front of you. So these questions are supposed to be done, and once you're done with these questions, we're going to discuss these questions in the upcoming classes, and then obviously after that we may be having a test of the topics as well. So that is it for the day, and if there is any question, feel free to ask.